Hi Rui, it's great connecting with you. And today I would love to have a discussion with you on one of the most important and I would say the trending topic as well in AI governance. And obviously that is not AI solutions, but that is AI governance. Because AI adoption is already there. We are eating AI in breakfast and dinner already. But now the question is how we can make that AI healthy and responsible. So it has already become one of the biggest challenge for all the enterprises, how we can make AI responsible, how we can govern that AI. And because AI is already dominating from small business problem to large enterprise solution, AI is already dominating and like we are already adopting AI. But governance is completely broken and I would say dangerously broken. So today I would like to have a talk around that with you because I know you are already doing a lot of work in this space. You are the champ of AI governance. So I would love to hear your thoughts on AI governance.
I'm just a curious mind. Ankit, I'm a curious mind around the topics of AI and AI governance specifically. And thank you for having me. Thank you for your time and attention today. Listen, my first thought to open up the conversation and going to this, race to the top we're seeing on AI and in AI industry particularly. I think this is not just a hot topic. It's a new subhuman category, right? From my point of view, of course. There are people that believe that AI is only a tool. There are others like me that are quite conscious and aware that this is a new era, right? And so what we're seeing is a new energy grid called AI, repowering all the relationships we used to have with all institutions, work, trade, diplomacy, economy, and everything we knew before. So I think it's a fantastic time, a fascinating time to be alive. It's just about understanding what's coming and how to navigate it, I guess, right?
But I feel like AI governance kicked off on a very high speed in 2025 and 2026. I'm still figuring out, is it going to be the maturity of AI governance or is it going to increase the problem to 2x or 5x in terms of understanding of AI governance? So how do you foresee 2026 for AI governance, where there is a lot of discussion about regulations versus innovation? Is it making things slow, or what do you feel like? Because you are based out in Europe and Switzerland, what do you feel how it's coming up in Europe and Switzerland in 2026?
Well, I think definitely, and what we heard in Davos this year, all the conversations around AI governance and around AI in general in Davos make me believe, and what we're seeing here is that 2026 is the AI adoption year, right? So I think it's the year where companies will have to deal with governance and will have to put in place their governance policies. Will have to review their data policies. Will have to have their consistent data policies compliant with the EU AI Act, with the Swiss AI Act, if we can call it that way, with all the AI acts around the world. Companies will have to deal with that. So they will have to come up with structured frameworks to handle the risks, to mitigate the risks, and to position themselves as a data competitive entity towards AI and AI governance. Now, the EU versus Swiss realities, if I had to summarize it simply, I think that EU codifies governance while Switzerland operationalizes governance. I think that's the right way to put it. I don't buy the lazy narrative that Switzerland does and EU regulates only. I think the EU's instinct is to create consistency through structured risk-based regulation, basically. Switzerland's instinct is much more pragmatic. It's to preserve flexibility through principles and proportionality. So neither approach is superior or better. I think each reflects the institutional culture, the market culture, the market structure, the political design you have in each spaces. And so Yeah, so just to end to say that it is important for the EU to managing scale and harmonization across jurisdictions. We cannot forget that EU handles different countries that all operate in a foreign currency, that all trade within and outside Europe. And Switzerland is leveraging agility and legal stability, political stability, and sector-specific pragmatism for years, for decades now. So I think that's so. My point is, I think it's not ideology; it's execution culture, right? And Switzerland has it all, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you touched upon a very good point, theoretically versus operationalized, because that was the next thing I wanted to discuss with you. Because there is hell lot of knowledge available on the internet around AI governance. There are hundreds of blogs, thousands of papers, and maybe millions of articles. So the knowledge is humongous. I'm not sure if that how much of the knowledge is meaningful actually, but the theory it's a full of theory. So when you say Swiss has a operationalized AI governance, so what is the playbook, like how they have operationalized? Do you also follow any particular playbook to operationalize? Because that's a very big gap. Theory versus implementation. It's a very big gap at the moment. And no one has a standard checklist and playbook to implement AI governance. So what playbook or what operationalized model you or Swiss is following?
Well, I think Switzerland is following, on one hand, has one eye in Europe and what Europe is doing, and the way it is doing it, regulating ethics to ensure that we have a cross country meaning of AI ethics, of data policies, that we have this continental common understanding, that we have that common place, which is so hard to get these days, around the AI definitions, main definitions, the architecture of AI, the concepts behind it. But at the same time, it also has its own market culture, its own market structure, which, if I had to compare, would align much more with what Singapore is doing, rather than what Europe or the US are doing. And so you have the agility to learn by doing, to learn from doing, to learn from what the market is doing. And that's the spirit of the AI regulations in place here in Switzerland. You have the society involved, you have the companies involved in crafting and shaping the AI legislation in Switzerland. So you don't have a top-down approach. No one is telling the companies, the ones that operate AI, the ones that develop AI, implement AI, and give meaning to the AI economy as such. No one is telling them how to govern AI. They're experimenting. And then I think it's the openness to validate what the economy is doing that makes the difference in Switzerland. So what you have here is a dynamic normative governance, while in EU you have a static normative governance. And so I think that's the big difference between what we're seeing in both country and region.
And you also mentioned about Singapore, Rui. So which countries you feel like they are aggressively pushing on the AI and AI governance, and not just from the government sector, but even from the enterprise or the private business sector? So which countries are aggressively implementing and going behind the AI governance?
Well, I think you have a few that are, are real world examples of mature AI governance thinking. And I point to Singapore. And what's interesting about Singapore is that it didn't start with the mindset of regulate everything first. It built a governance ecosystem, a national strategy, practical frameworks, testing tools, and sector guidance, which is very important, because from sector to sector, AI changes a lot. The applied AI context varies significantly. So, in other words, it treated AI governance as a capability, not just as a law. And again, this is a big difference to what you have in the EU. And it's a very important distinction, because governance is not only legislation, it's again the readiness, the market readiness, the institutional readiness, the operational standards, the trust infrastructure, or trust as an infrastructure, which is exactly the capital that Switzerland and Singapore have in place. And that's that's a unique approach to what you're seeing. So they, to be more specific, they combine the a national strategy on AI for the public good with a practical model. I'm talking about Singapore, with a practical model governance framework, and tools like AI Verify to test and validate AI systems against governance principles, etc., etc. So again, it treats governance as an enabler of adoption and not the other way around. I think it's practical. It's not philosophical.
That's a great mindset actually, when you feel AI governance as an enabler for your AI adoption, not as a challenge or blocker. So I think that mindset is very important in many other countries and businesses as well.
Exactly.
So that's a very important. And from my perspective, what I feel like AI governance involves a lot of cross-functional things. You need people from legal team, compliance team, your IT team, AI, and last but not least, your senior management, your leadership team. So this cross-functional thing makes it challenging, or do you follow some framework to make it functional for the cross-functional teams?
I think that makes it challenging, but that also makes the solutions that are coming to market more interesting, more complex, more competitive. I think what you are doing, Adaptiv, is exactly putting together all those capabilities in a whole of a platform approach that ensures that within an organization, within a company, the legal team, the procurement team, the marketing team, if it touches on marketing or any other function, can come together in one platform only, in a systematized manner, in a streamlined manner, and concentrate all the governance in one point only. And that makes a huge difference, because you'll have, in the diffused world of AI and in the diffused world of big organizations, you have to streamline these kind of policies, and you have to have a streamlined pathwork so that all the key capabilities align, and you have a compact approach to this. Otherwise, it will get messy and scattered. So I think those are the solutions. Again, it's challenging, but it's also what makes the solutions that are coming to market more interesting for companies to adopt and to test and verify. And so I guess that's, again, the way forward. With the Swiss and Singapore philosophy in mind, I think test and validate first, regulate after is the way to go. So the solutions that private sector is bringing to the market, the AI governance platforms, I think they're the way to go in terms of validating the tools, adjust them, and then regulate around it.
Yeah, definitely. So we request all businesses to adapt Adeptiv AI, because the problem which you touched upon, we are exactly solving the same problem, the cross-functional thing, and how the different teams can be bring into one platform where the things can be in a automated way and a streamlined way. So they don't have to struggle to work with each other department, and they can co-collab, co-own things, so that the AI governance can be made easy. And with the same mindset at Adeptiv, we also feel like we have three main aspects which we always talk about in AI governance. One is the AI risk assessment, where you can assess the risk of your AI applications, your AI use cases, and what could be the probable risks involved over there. Then you need real-time observability and monitoring as well, because you also touched upon the real-time monitoring. So how your applications are behaving in the real time, who is accountable for the outcomes. So that is the second important aspect. And third, the compliances and regulations on top of everything. So if you have to deploy on Europe, the application should be aligned with EU AI Act. If you are deploying in Singapore, then Singapore is having their own regulation and policies. So the regulation and policies are like those are from the regulation perspective, but risk assessment and observability is on the practical side to make sure you have a full control on your AI applications. So combining all those things, we are trying to solve that problem at Adeptiv, like how we can solve this problem all together. So, and we are very excited about 2026, like you mentioned, the AI. This is AI adoption year, right? And not just adoption, but I would say implementation year, because adoption and pilots has already been done in last 1 and 2 years, but 2026 is more of the implementation year. And when you implement, then governance must be there by design. It cannot be your afterthought. So implementation and governance will go hand in hand. So that's good, Rui. So it was a great conversation with you, and thank you so much for your time. And I feel together we can definitely contribute a lot in this space. So anything else, Rui, you want to add into this conversation? Any final thoughts on AI governance?
And well, thank you so much for the opportunity also, Ankit. I think I can only say that for the most skepticals about AI governance, I think AI governance is not the thing that slows down innovation. It's the thing that makes innovation trusted, scalable, and durable. So if there's one big takeaway, I think this would be the one. I think AI governance is the enabler for the better innovation in the AI era. So thank you once again, Ankit. Let's keep in touch, and it was a pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, Rui. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye. Ciao.